My cousin in Newfoundland shared a post the other day about how conservatives have always been bad for the province. I understood where it was coming from right away. Stephen Harper left a bad taste there, and for a lot of people in Newfoundland and Labrador, that experience stuck fair enough. But reading it got me thinking, not just about Newfoundland, but about what's happening across the country right now. Because more and more the political conversation doesn't seem to be about why someone should be in office, but why someone else shouldn't be. And I'm not convinced that's good enough anymore. That thought came back to me a few days later when a local liberal knocked on my door. Nice guy. You know who I'm talking about. Friendly, polite, well-rehearsed. We chatted for a bit about weather, neighborhood, the usual warm-up before the pitch. Then he asked how I thought things were going. I told him the truth about my feelings. I said I felt like this country was going to hell in a handbasket. I wasn't being dramatic, I meant it. Groceries are brutal now. Not in a headline way, but in that quiet moment at the checkout when you catch yourself putting something back. Like you're negotiating with your past self. Housing feels impossible for younger people. And that worries me more than it probably should at my age, because they're supposed to be building lives, not waiting them out. Fuel hurts every time you fill the tank, and heating your home isn't a utility anymore. It's a discussion you have with the thermostat, and the thermostat usually wins. Taxes keep climbing, services don't seem to follow. And even if you've done most things right over a lifetime, you can feel the margins getting thinner. People are stretched, not loudly, not dramatically. Nobody's pretending anymore. Instead of engaging with that, he pulled out the mirror and the smoke started to rise as he brought up Donald Trump at my house, my front door, and suddenly I'm lost. Not angrily, not dramatically, just that quiet moment where you realize you're no longer having the same conversation. Do I need to say? I'm not American, I live here. I vote here, maybe I want to know what you planned for. Canadians, not who you're afraid of in another country. I happen to like Trump. That's beside the point. If the best response to real everyday pressure is, well, at least we're not like Trump, then you don't have a plan. And you probably shouldn't be asking for my vote. Our conversation at my door, it felt a bit like debating religion with a Jehovah's Witness. Him thinking he knew the Bible, and me knowing it. A real conversation that was never actually going anywhere. Not without a collision. Carney, Poilievre, perfect, they're not. Because if either of them were, politics would have shut down years ago. Yet, for the first time in a long while, I'm hearing one of them say things that don't sound ideological. They sound obvious, important, and real. Cut the waste. Deal with the housing. Stop taxing people's energy for heating their homes. These are not extremes, just common sense. At some point now, are people starting to see the forest, the lesser evil for the trees? Well, someone asked me recently, when's the last time voting for the lesser evil actually helped? Truth is, nobody really asks me anything. This is just me thinking out loud. And honestly, I do remember the 1990s and the shape this country was left in. Rough shape. The Liberals weren't everyone's first choice, but John Chrétien and Paul Martin made some hard, unpopular decisions and brought stability back. Canadians noticed was that when we all fell back in love with the Liberals, maybe. Now we have this version. The flying by the seat of their pants Liberals, yes, that party, and not even close. I've seen governments mess up before. I've seen politicians fall back on fear when they've got nothing left to offer. We all have, and since I'm not political by trade, just a student of politics, call me both sides to the middle if you want. I'm just saying. Along the way, I've been hearing a lot of talk about Mark Carney. The mythology is already forming. The legend gets taller than the facts. And now, when that someone, a wolf in Carney's clothing, stands on my doorstep, ignores everything I've just said, and drags the United States into the conversation, it tells me one thing. They felt offended, and they're hoping I am too. A weak platform to be standing on.
That talk about Mark Carney and the legend getting taller than the facts. We can ask again, now that he's here in different clothing, was Carney competent? Absolutely. Respected? No doubt. But the idea that he single-handedly saved Canada, or that voters marched to the polls thinking about a central banker, is more political fairy tale than reality. By the time Carney became governor of the Bank of Canada in 2008, Canada was already in better shape than most countries. Our banks were conservative, our regulations were tighter. We didn't have the same reckless lending culture as the US. Carney didn't build the house, he made sure the furnace stayed on and we were in comfort. And the actual recovery, the spending, the stimulus, the tax measures, that was fiscal policy. That was the Harper and Jim Flaherty government. Carney's role was monetary, dealing with interest rates, liquidity, confidence, all important, yes. But let's keep everyone in their lane. Most Canadians in 2011 couldn't have picked Mark Carney out of a lineup. The Conservatives won because of timing, messaging, and fatigue with the alternatives, not because voters were saying that central banker really nailed it. And if Carney were truly some conservative economic hero, you'd think he would have stuck with them. He didn't. He isn't partisan. He's a global technocrat. Now we're heading toward a moment where Pierre Poilievre may try to tear Carney down. Despite being part of the government that once appointed him, it's gonna be one hell of a tightrope. Can you trash Carney without also trashing the Harper legacy? A legacy Conservatives still lean on. Throwing rocks without getting hit by the bounce back isn't easy. And when you step back, Canada's success during that crisis was never about one man. It was about cautious banking, solid institutions, a bit of luck, and a country that still had its footing, a far cry from where we are now. The country feels frayed. Trust is thin, people are tired, an election is likely coming sooner than later, and fear is once again being rolled out as the main selling point. You don't have to love Poilievre, but if, for some, the only reason for voting Liberal is to keep the other side out, it might be worth asking what's it actually fixing. Right now, a lesser evil. Maybe the forest, not the trees. I, for one, don't want to fear the forest and blame another country.